Okay, so let's take a look at the warm-up. So aluminum, what do we know about it?
It's metal.
Metal. So again, just when you're trying to do these problems, what I would suggest that you do is kind of write out everything that you know. As you start getting better about this, you don't have to do everything that I'm doing up here, but just to get in the habit, because it helps you study. So aluminum is a metal. What else do we know about aluminum? Just 3 electrons?
3
Balance.
It has 13 protons.
So it has 3 valence electrons. It has 13 protons. 13 electrons. Okay, so what do we know about metals and their valence electrons?
Oh, it's a metal.
Classification, I guess we can call it. Anything else in terms of its valence electrons? What do metals do with their valence electrons?
It has 3 levels.
3 energy levels? Right, so did y'all hear what was said? Can you repeat, please? Just so everybody can hear. You're right. They give up their valence electrons to non-metals. So how would I represent the valence electrons on this?
Because they're getting raw.
Correct. So 1, 2, 3 is going to lose to our non-metal. So sulfur, in this case, is going
You know why they
to be...
get their balance electrons away? Because they want to be positive.
Possibly, they want to be positive. It's a non-metal. What about sulfur? How many valence electrons does sulfur have? 6. How many protons does it have? For sulfur? 16. How many electrons?
16.
Okay, so sulfur. How am I going to represent the valence electrons for sulfur on the Lewis diagram? 5? 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so said metals will give, so this is going to lose valence electrons, non-metals gain. So just kind of studying, like if you're doing problems on your own, I would suggest just kind of writing what you know down because it's helpful for you. What family does sulfur belong to? Sounds like halogens.
Halogen.
Chalcogens, yes.
What is it?
Chalcogens.
The ones next to one.
The ones
When
that-
did we learn that? What the heck was
It's
that?
been in our notebook. Well, not that word, but yes.
Oh.
Okay, so we represent this by it losing, this needs to gain 2 more. So it's going to be 1 right here, 2. So since this has gained 8 valence electrons, it's stable now. So what's going to happen to this? What happens? I do have to draw another one, but before I do that, simply gain 2.
Oh, plus a 3.
Plus 2 minus 2 plus 2.
Minus 2.
Why minus?
Because it's gain.
Gain. Okay, so negative 2 is gained electrons, and then as you all just told me, I have to draw another. So I'm going to cheat. 5, 6.
You gotta stop doing
I'm cheating. Teacher,
that.
executive privilege.
Influence.
I know. So I have to draw, as you all said, I have to draw another sulfur atom. This is going to give it its 1.
You gotta make another one.
What happens to this? It lost all 3 now?
You gotta make another one.
And then
But what
Plus
happens?
3.
Plus 3. And what is this called? If it has a positive charge? Cations and cations are what?
positive.
Not negative.
Positive.
Positive. So I have to draw another one. So Al, 1, 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna give up. So I gave up 1. What happens to this one? Right, -2. What is this called? What's the name for this now that it's... It's an anion, correct? But the name of the nonmetal, what happens to the name of the nonmetal? I, so this becomes what? Sulfide. So I have to draw another sulfur atom. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cheating. Need to give away to 2. 1, 2. This also now becomes 3 plus. Becomes 2 negative. So looking at the entire thing, is this neutral?
Yep.
Why?
They cancel out.
Right, they all cancel out, so I have a positive 3 and a positive 3 makes a positive 6. Negative 2, negative 2, negative 2 make a negative 6, and so that equals 0. So ionic compounds are neutral, so that's good that you all remember that. So you want to make sure, I talked about the flip grid video, right?
Yeah.
A little bit towards the end, but I'll talk about it later. And so what's the formula for this?
AL
S3, 2, AL2. S3.
Metal goes first, metal first, and then non-metal. So as you're again reviewing, so notice all this stuff that I did, if I'm studying and I'm doing practice problems, that's what I want to do to kind of repeat, and just repetition is helpful. Once you start getting the hang of it, then you don't have to do all of this. But that's...
why it's helpful and we remember because you would get them in class.
Oh, okay. That's positive. What is the name of this? Aluminum sulfide. Good. Sulfide. Excellent. Where did we stop in the notes? I skipped transition metals. Did we finish page 7?
Yeah.
We didn't finish?
Yeah, we did.
Okay, we're going to do page 6. So this is great that you remember this. Again, it's just a strategy as you're studying and you're doing problems. And then as you get better, then you can get this off. So let's open page 6. It is 7:10 p.m. I'm here late. You can see it's dark outside. My room is a mess. Just had my last pair of students leave. They're actually, one's a dual enrollment student, one was a student that I had last year. However, I swear, maybe 50 students at one point after school. This is what happens when you wait to the last minute to assess. They were trying to do their summative assessments, either try to take all 3 of them at the last minute or finish up on one, because many students came in and they took them earlier. So I need to rethink that process, and I meant to tell students if they didn't complete this practice assignment, then I wasn't going to allow them to take the assessment. And then I just forgot about all of that, and all the students showed up. Many students are doing particularly well. Luckily, my student teacher was here, so he manned all the students, because I have them take their tests back here in the lab area, so only 2 students per table, and they sit diagonally from one another. And so it just was full back there, so we cut off sending students to tests, and I just told students, write your name on the board, and that's the order. As someone finishes in the back, they bring their assessment to me, and then I'll send you to the back, and my student teacher will tell you where to go. Luckily, I also had 3 former students. One of the students that just left, actually, they were here, and so they were tutoring. They just told me that they were going to come today. So they were walking around helping students, so that was good, because of just, trying to make sure that the students are getting an adequate chemistry, a high quality chemistry education. Doesn't matter if we're at a Title I campus. Chemistry here shouldn't be any different from chemistry at a high performing campus. The only difference is that many of my students come with these major gaps, and so I'm working really, really hard to get them caught up. I'm just not at a place where I would like to be, and so it can be a little bit frustrating at times, because the students, they get upset at me. And I wouldn't say actually not upset at me, they're frustrated, because I think class for many of them is the first time like they're being challenged. And I think that just goes for chemistry pre-AP anyways. It's a hard class. And many of the students, they come from biology where, you know, they can do really well in one topic, you know, food webs, you know, energy transfer, etc. And then you're moving on to DNA, and it's a completely new topic, and you don't necessarily need to know anything in order to be successful in that skill. Whereas in chemistry, all the skills build, and so if you allow yourself, if a student allows themselves to fall behind, then it just snowballs. And so I think the students are beginning to see that because we moved into nomenclature, which actually the students are doing pretty well in that right now. And they're like, oh, this is easy. This is the easy stuff. I'm like, oh my God, like, good, you know. But I think that has to do with the fact that, you know, I'm doing the whole mastery, you know, grading. And so if students aren't showing proficiency, then they get like a score of 1, 2, maybe even a 0. And they have to come in to reassess if they want to change a particular grade. And so they've been coming in to do that. And I've been doing this because when we get to later topics, it is very helpful for them to understand. And so today, and even yesterday with my 8A classes, you know, many of this, oh, this is easy, I got this. You know, very few students like during the lesson were confused, but if they were confused, someone next to them like was explaining to them. And so also the other thing is the students, at least in my 7th period, they're like, yeah, you know, we're doing so much better because you're actually standing at the board teaching us. And I'm like, I don't understand, because, you know, when I shoot the video, it's me at the board teaching. You can always pause the video, you know, take notes and then ask me a question. And not that we watch videos all the time, but I think there's this perception like they can't, for some reason, they just can't take the notes in the video. They want me to be in front of the classroom or on the document camera teaching them. And it's like, you know, I would like to do labs or other things or differentiate a little bit more. So that's why sometimes I do lesson videos. So that way you can watch them ahead of time or sometime in class. So when you finish early, I can work with you. If you still need more time, you get some other activity. So that's been a challenge this school year and also last school year. But one of the things that I've been trying to do is, as students are coming in now, whether they turn in assignments early, they're coming in early to take an assessment, they come into tutoring often, we have school dollars, and so I write personal messages on the dollar, like, great job, I appreciate you coming in, thank you, you know, putting their name on the school dollar. Also, I've been writing personalized thank you notes, and so I had thank you notes from when I was in previous leadership roles that I would leave for teachers. And so several students, I've written them like a thank you card, you know, full on, you know, thank you, I appreciate the hard work that you do. Even if a student's struggling, I still write them a personalized thank you note with their name on the envelope, and I give it to them when they come to tutoring or at the end of class. And several of the students that have received one so far have said thank you, they appreciate it. I also want to start doing like certificates for just random things, but like I don't want to give a certificate just to be given certificates. It's just based on things that I've noticed in class, maybe at the end of a grading period, I don't know. So that's pretty much this week. Tomorrow is the day before Thanksgiving break. We are off for an entire week. And I'm just here because I was actually, beyond students being here, I was grading their assessments. And again, many students are doing particularly well. It's just, I think they're stressed out because we're in early college high school. I don't think I mentioned that at any point this year, but many of my students we're in early college high school. So many of my students are also enrolled in college courses through one of the community colleges here in Austin. And part of it's they don't know right now how to manage their time, how to organize, how to plan, prioritize. And so that's an issue that they're facing. I've had several parent conferences. I've surveyed the students. They told me, like, you know, they don't study at all for any of their classes, or I was told in one meeting that I study for the other classes, I just don't study for your class. And we want a schedule change. Well, let's think about that, right? You know, maybe if you studied a little bit, you probably could be doing a little bit better, especially since me and the other pre-AP chemistry teacher are doing the exact same thing. So, you know, I'm going through those right now, but I think it is important for me to meet with parents and students to kind of let them know what the expectations are. And it's not that the class, like I'm really out to make the class difficult, but, you know, I do get, as I said earlier, I want to make sure that they are receiving the same quality education that students at a high performing campus would be receiving in terms of quality. And that, again, that's also played into my frustration and my anxiety, sometimes maybe my depression as well, those of you who watch those videos, because I know that the students are very capable, of being more successful than they are. And part of it is that they, at this point, don't believe that they can be successful, or if it gets too hard, they want to give up. So I've already had some students transfer out because the class was too hard when they were actually passing the class and they were very capable, but they got, switched to on-level chemistry, which is unfortunate. But I'm going to still truck on. My goal is to have AP chemistry here next year, and so hopefully I can get enough students interested to want to sign up to take it when we do choice sheets in February, the beginning of February, end of January, because that's what my goal is, the next year have AP chemistry along with our dual enrollment program here with UT. I also reached out to a couple of UT students to see if they can come in and talk to my pre-AP students. Sorry, my memory card ran out of space, and so I had to switch it out. What I was saying is that I reached out to former students here at the campus who are freshmen at UT, but then also students in the teaching program that I went through, and also the teaching program that my student teacher is going through, to see if students would be willing to come speak to my students and just talk about, their first year in college, perhaps what they thought and reality, but then also some of them who know me and actually thanked me this year for just kind of the methods that I use, because they felt like it's helping them, or they feel it's helping them right now in the classes at UT. So hopefully that can inspire and motivate the students, because I just feel like, how many times can I say something in a different way? And maybe just the students are tired of listening to me, but hopefully people their age, because I'm no longer in their age range anymore, hopefully people their age might be able to, again, inspire and motivate them to take the class a little bit more seriously, or maybe focus just a little bit more. I have seen many students turn around compared to the first and second 6 weeks, so that's been a great thing. And really my goal is to try to do, everything that I possibly can to build our advanced programs here at the campus, because we don't really, our vertical alignment in the sciences is not strong, and we don't even have advanced programs. We had AP Physics for a while, but it was dropped, and our students didn't particularly do well on that. We have Cambridge, which is the course taught, the dual enrollment course taught by the UT professor, but we don't have AP programs or other advanced science courses taught by teachers here. And students, when they have opportunities to sign up for these courses, they don't sign up for them at all. And so my goal is to strengthen and develop those programs, or our science programs, so that students are interested, students especially that told me that they are interested in a science, engineering major, or a health related field, medical, dental, etc., that they begin taking those courses, so that way when they do go to college, if they decide that, then they will at least be prepared, versus getting there and be like, what the heck, like, school didn't prepare me. And so that's my goal, and it's a lot of work, especially at a Title I campus. My students are very capable, but it's just getting them to believe. And right now many of them are just frustrated for various reasons, but then they just think that, like, I'm being an a-hole. I am gonna stop here because I need to grade a few more papers, and then I am going to go home, because the students joke that I should spend the night here. I'm like, I have a life. I have to go home. Lately, it feels like I haven't had a life, so I'm gonna take care of some stuff here and then make sure that I finish it by Friday, because I don't wanna grade anything or look at any school-related stuff during my Thanksgiving holiday break for a week. So I'm gonna grab my stuff, head out, and I will catch you in my next vlog. Do me a favor, if there was anything about this video that you liked, then make sure to hit that like button, comment down below, and or share the video. If you haven't already done so, make sure to subscribe so that way you can bond with James. As always, thanks for watching. Bye.